So we talked about the globalization of economies, right? And when we're talking about production possibility frontiers, one of the main things that we are, that countries are making comparisons of is they're trying to figure out, should I produce it domestically versus buying it from a different country, right? Countries tend to have different opportunity costs of producing specific goods. And the reasons could be different climates, which has to do a lot with geography, but sometimes the climate and geography situation is, man, that is geography. A lot of times it has to do with where you are in terms of the trade routes, right? Like one of the things we know about African landlocked countries is they have a really difficult time because they don't have any access to ports, and so in order to get their goods internationally, they have to make agreements with the countries that stand in between here and wherever the nearest port is. And so it could be climate, right? It's much easier to run a wheat farm in North Dakota than it would be in Florida, right? And it's much easier to run a tourist hotel in Florida than it is in North Dakota. So climates have a big part of it as well. Technologies. Skills, which kind of has to do with technology. And then I'm going to add one in here because I think it's very important. The institutions or regulations. One of the main reasons why so much of our things are produced abroad is because it's too expensive to produce them here in the United States. And these other countries have either really low labor standards, so you can work your laborers for a long period of time and not pay them very much, and you don't have to have all the safety concerns and stuff like that you'd have in the United States. They also have easier environmental regulations, so you're just able to pollute the air and pollute the water more. Any kind of regulation is going to make doing stuff more expensive, right? Any kind of labor regulation or environmental regulation is going to make the final product more expensive. So these institutions and regulations have a large role of playing out in terms of where the comparative advantages are internationally. So let's talk about that comparative advantage. We're going to talk about this in more detail when we get to that chapter, but let's just get a definition in your notes for right now. So this is when a country can produce a good at a lower opportunity cost than another country. My tablet does not like both casting and recording at the same time. That's why some of the letters don't come through there, because little ram's trying to keep up. But if there's ever a time where you can't understand a word, please just speak up and I will clarify it. Okay, so this is all we're going to delve into in terms of comparative advantage and country specialization until we get to the actual chapter on comparative advantage and calculating comparative advantage. But that's good enough for now. Questions on PPF and comparative advantage?